Hey everyone! Today we're diving into a topic that's both fascinating and essential: erections. Now, I know this might seem like a topic we only discuss when we're talking about men, but let's be real. Erections play a huge role in reproduction, and they're not just a male thing. Yes, we're going to talk about male erections, but we're also going to explore the female erections, which, believe it or not, is just as important. So why is it that we often hear more about male erections? Well, it's probably because they're a bit more visible and, let's face it, harder to ignore. But make no mistake, ladies also have erectile tissue that plays a key role in the reproductive process. So the big question is, how crucial is the female erection when it comes to reproduction? We all know that a male erection is vital for depositing sperm during intercourse. But does the female erection and climax serve a similar purpose? Or is it just a nice bonus? We're going to answer that today and break down exactly how this incredible process works. So buckle up, because we're about to jump into some amazing reproductive anatomy. Let's start with a surprising fact. Male and female erectile tissues are remarkably similar. Both arise from the same embryonic tissue, meaning they're what we call homologous structures. For example, the testes and ovaries are homologous. They both develop from the same tissue in the embryo. Now the penis and clitoris, also homologous. Both contain the same type of erectile tissue, which means they function in similar ways when it comes to achieving an erection. So let's take a closer look at the clitoris and how this erectile tissue works. The clitoris is essentially a cylindrical mass of erectile tissue, made up of several parts. It starts with two leg-like extensions called crura, which attach to the pubic bone. Imagine these as the roots of the clitoris, anchoring it to the body. The crura then come together to form the body of the clitoris, which is homologous to the shaft of the penis. Pretty cool, right? In a cadaver dissection, you can see these structures clearly. The clitoris is mostly internal, with only the very tip, called the glans clitoris, visible from the outside. This part is packed with nerve endings, making it extremely sensitive and crucial for initiating and maintaining an erection. But how does this whole process actually start? There are two main ways an erection can be initiated, and the first is through tactile stimulation, essentially touch. When the clitoris or surrounding genital areas are touched, signals are sent to the spinal cord via the pudendal nerve. This nerve is key in transmitting sensory information, and it's interesting to note that its name comes from a word meaning that which you should be ashamed of. Seems a little harsh, right? But we're way past those times! These signals go to the sacral region of the spinal cord, specifically to levels S2, S3, and S4. Here's a fun saying that might help you remember. S2, 3, and 4 keeps the penis off the floor. But guess what? It also keeps the clitoris off the floor. Once the signal reaches this part of the spinal cord, it reflexively sends a message back to the erectile tissue, initiating an erection. Now, what's fascinating is that this process can happen without the brain's involvement. That means even someone with a spinal cord injury might still experience an erection purely through tactile stimulation. But let's not forget the brain's role in all this. While tactile stimulation can initiate an erection on its own, the best erections usually happen when the brain gets involved too. Visual cues, thoughts, smells, or even a whisper in your ear can send signals from the brain down to that same S2, S3, and S4 region of the spinal cord. These signals release neurotransmitters that trigger the release of nitric oxide, a powerful chemical that kicks off the erection process. So what happens next? If we were to cut through the body of the clitoris, we'd see two masses of erectile tissue called the corpora cavernosa. These are vascular tissues, meaning they're rich in blood vessels. When nitric oxide is released, it causes these blood vessels to dilate, allowing more blood to flow into the tissue. The smooth muscle within the corpora cavernosa relaxes, allowing the tissue to swell with blood. This is what leads to the clitoris becoming engorged, although not to the same extent as the penis during an erection. So let's get back to our original question. How important is the female erection and climax to reproduction? Is it necessary or just a bonus? Well, the short answer is that it's not strictly necessary. As long as sperm gets into the female reproductive tract, fertilization can happen. But, and this is a big but, there's more to the story. There's another structure called the bulb of the vestibule, which is an erectile tissue mass on either side of the vaginal canal. When this tissue becomes engorged with blood, it narrows the vaginal canal around the penis. This increases stimulation and can help both partners reach climax, aiding in the release of sperm. But here's the really interesting part. Female orgasm might actually increase the chances of conception. During orgasm, the pelvic floor muscles contract rhythmically, which can help propel sperm further into the reproductive tract. The cervix also dilates, making it easier for sperm to move into the uterus. Additionally, the hormone oxytocin is released, causing the uterus to contract. which might help guide sperm toward the egg. So, while female orgasm isn't strictly necessary for conception, it definitely doesn't hurt. In fact, it might just help tip the odds in favor of pregnancy. Now let's consider another angle. Women who regularly enjoy intercourse with orgasm might be more inclined to engage in it more often. This, in turn, increases the likelihood of conception simply due to more frequent sexual activity. So there you have it. Erections, whether male or female, play a fascinating and crucial role in reproduction. While the female erection and climax might not be essential for conception, they certainly enhance the process in many ways. And let's not forget, the whole experience of intercourse isn't just about making babies. It's about connection, pleasure, and sometimes just relieving stress. If you found this deep dive into reproductive anatomy as fascinating as I did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And if you have any questions or topics you want me to cover, drop them in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.